Hi everyone, this is Tessa from ModernGurlz. Today we're going to be restyling childhood cartoon characters for live action. And this is not just going to be me, we are joined by Miss Mina Lay. Hi Mina.
Hello, my beautiful doves. Couldn't help myself, go on.
So over on Mina's channel, we restyled 5 other characters. So make sure to watch that one if you enjoyed this video. Just as a disclaimer, we're not doing really literal cosplay or cartoonified versions of these characters. We're just reinterpreting them as we see fit for a hypothetical live action version. So some of the things that we do, you might not agree with, but let us know in the comments and, let us know who won.
Fight!
So we're gonna start off with Daphne, who is one of the main characters of Scooby-Doo, which has been around for like the last 50 or so years, and there have been many, many iterations of it. We did Velma over on Mina's channel, so make sure to watch that. The way that I styled my Velma, she kind of doesn't exist in the same world as my Daphne, but that's fine. They're 2 different characters, they can do what they want. So for Daphne, I went with this like really high-end, high fashion, chic look. So I went with this purple and green cropped Jacquemus knit top, which I thought was absolutely perfect because it incorporates her color scheme, but in natural way. It doesn't seem really like obnoxious. And I paired it with a matching purple knit skirt, which is like not from Jacquemus, but I thought that they were similar and nice textiles that work together. And it also has a slit on the leg, which you can't really tell in the photo, but scandalous. And because of the high slit, I felt it was kind of appropriate to give her higher boots as a result, so she's not showing too much leg. So I gave her these over the knee kind of pistachio green boots, which pair nicely with her Jacquemus top. And then as for like her accessories, I found this pistachio green Hermes scarf. Yes, Daphne has money. She's got money. So I thought that would be really cute, like tied in her hair as like a replacement for her headband, or alternatively just tied like around her neck or something like that. And I gave her this stowed purple handbag that has all these little feathers, and then on top of that, even though, I don't think it's gonna be cold, I felt I had to give her this Sax Potts purple coat. It just was so perfect for her character, and the color scheme just matched everything that I was like, I have to give it to her. She's rich, she has the money, she deserves it. She works hard, she works so hard.
Fighting crime, solving mysteries.
All in a day's work, baby.
Okay, so for my interpretation of Daphne, I started out with like this Mirror Palais like polo shirt that's super cropped. It's like literally like under boob situation. But you may be thinking that's not appropriate for a high schooler. My vision of Daphne is a little bit aged up, so I think it's appropriate for her. And I felt like it was a good shirt because it was like this like very, fashion forward and like stylish garment, but at the same time, it does have like this polo neck collar, which has this preppiness association. And even though Daphne is like not I don't want to say Daphne's not the smart one, because we're not in the 1950s anymore.
We don't perpetuate
those negative stereotypes. Like Elle Woods did not go to Harvard for me to say that line. But I said this in my in our video on my channel, but I'm like, Daphne and Velma are girlfriends, and I feel like they would have like some style that would like rubbed off on each other. But also, like, Daphne is a smart girl, and I think that's something that she would want to portray in her style as well, because I think she'd be stereotyped as not being smart. And I added this like lavender skirt, which, I don't know, it makes it a little less, because I think it's high-waisted. I'm gonna say it's high-waisted, so it makes it a little less like risque than if it was like a low-waisted situation. And then I gave her the purple headband just because it's like too iconic that I didn't want to leave it out. A Chanel bag that matches because Daphne is wealthy. And I literally looked it up on the wiki page, and apparently her dad bought the mystery van for her and her friends. So I'm like, okay.
Wow, good for her.
Good for her. I added these like platform sandals from Bottega Veneta, and they're like in this pistachio colorway. I just thought they were really good for her because it's just a shoe that like platform sandal is coming back, I've noticed, and you know, she can wear another brand, but Bottega Veneta is nice, so why not? And then I also gave her a Saks pot jacket, but I gave her the shearling one, the shearling leather jacket. The reason I didn't go with the coat was because the way I styled her was too spring summery, that I was like, if I gave her the full coat, it would just look like, where is she right now? Like, what climate is it outside? So I'm like, I'm going for like a spring, fall, transitional weather situation, but yeah.
Honestly, this is one of those things where we both kind of did like similar. Again, like everything in your outfit is something I could see like my Daphne wearing. I think it's interesting that we both kind of like diluted her color palette to more of like that pastel color instead of like her bright purple.
Yeah,
we both like
I noticed that
pistachio
too.
Green and then pastel purple.
I think it's just because like those shades of like green and purple are very like in right now, so it's also like easier to find clothing that fits in those color palettes. But I totally could see Daphne wearing something of a more vibrant saturation.
Like you could definitely mix and match different parts of our individual outfits and it
It's
would
same
still
wardrobe.
work as an
Like
outfit. Like my boots with your little mini skirt.
so
Hello.
cute. Like this is like one of those like pick through whatever simulators, and you choose like the outfits. Like there we go.
So the next character is Starfire, and we're specifically doing like a take on her character design from the Teen Titans TV animated show, not necessarily the character in the comics, because they're different people. I went for a sort of like cyberpunkish kind of look, just because I feel like any kind of superhero who has kind of like a purple and green color palette, they kind of inadvertently wind up looking kind of techy. And I was kind of worried that she was gonna wind up looking like how I styled Tekna for the Winx girls, because they have like very similar color palettes. They have like the bright kind of like pinkish red hair, purple and green cyberpunk thing. But I try to kind of like lean into the more sort of like superhero girl look. So I did a pair of purple boot sock high, you know, the thigh high sock boot shoes. So I did those because she does have on like boots in the cartoon anyway. So I got those in purple. And then as for her main outfit, which is a two-piece, I think she's showing a little too much skin for my taste for like how old she is.
Okay, grandma. Just kidding.
She's a baby. She's a baby. She needs to be covered up. So I gave her this purple, like very light lilac purple skirt from Didu, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that looks like a Didu official.
I found this like corset top on Depop from this user called Fancy Club, I think is the name of her company. But she makes these really awesome like kind of patchwork or mesh corset tops and other tops like that. And I found this purple corset top that kind of has this sort of tendril like jellyfish kind of bottom. And I thought that adds a lot of like texture and also flow to the outfit. So say for instance, she was like floating, it would like float. So it would look like kind of interesting in like a kind of actiony way.
That's super cool.
And then on top of that, just to cover her up a little bit, I found this like leather bolero kind of cropped jacket. I didn't find it in the right color, but imagine it as like the same dark purple as the boots. But I feel like that'd be a good way to like kind of cover her up a little bit more on the top half, and then also kind of reference like her like arm warmer glove kind of situation. So I think that's kind of like, and also I think the textures are just fun because it's kind of like that more nylon mixed with leather. So it's like a hard kind of edgy textures. Yeah.
For my Starfire, I didn't do the assignment. Just kidding. I mean, I feel like it's just because she's so purple. Like every incarnation of Starfire is purple, and I did not give her purple. But the reason is because I gave her this matching corset top and this mini skirt from this designer, Laquan Smith, from the spring summer 2021 collection. And I saw it, I've seen this set like a while ago when it was first like on the runway. I'm, you know, up to date with my fashion news. But
it is our job.
But yeah, I was like, this is just so perfect for her. Like, I really wanted to play with the fact that she is an alien and she's like this intergalactic superhero. So that was like the vibe I was going for. I was going for intergalactic. So I wanted also like the shiny quality of the latex is something like that I was like super into. And then the fingerless gloves I got from this brand called Monoki. I just like saw them and I like was super in love because like they do have like that corset kind of tie detail like down the arm, and they're also fingerless, which I think is really interesting. It just like makes it a little bit more pizzazz than the average metallic silver glove. I also did want to play with like the metallics because she, in the anime, she has like that metallic I don't know,
piece. Yeah, like overlay.
Halter, like overlay,
yeah,
and like some like, you know, the metallic she has metal on her. And I was gonna give her boots because I think her boots are super iconic. But when I was like looking for pieces, I did come across these Prada Spring 2019 shoes that I was like, I love these so much because the sole, the color of the sole,
the little detail on the bottom.
Yeah, it kind of matches like the pink set, and then also it like gives this like, I don't know, rocket ship kind of vibe to the shoe, you know, with like the rocket and the fire coming down.
The
like
shape.
Yes. Yeah. That's like what I was like, this is what I'm going for. So I decided to give her like metallic socks to kind of make it look kind of more like a boot, but it's not.
I really like the overall styling of yours. I think that I like the play on like metallics and then like the reflective materials. I think that's really fun. I feel like it'd be horrible to try and film with. Imagine a lighting crew trying to do that. But I think it's really cute. Love the shoes, and I love the fingerless gloves. I think they're so cool, and I think the color palette actually works. Again, I don't know if I think it was Starfire. I don't know if I would make that association, but I do think it's really cute.
You would if she had bright red hair and glowing green eyes, okay? Yeah, I mean, I think yours is cute as well. If anything, I just like wish like it was more matching, I guess. In this, like, maybe because like the bolero is just like so red on the screen for me that I'm like, but I think because Starfire, her set is just like so much like a set that if it was like all done by like the same designer, I feel like that would be more Starfire, but
I do think the Laquan Smith set is pretty perfect though. I think both of us, I like how both of us, we went for like more of like a structured kind of corset or like stays kind of silhouette to make it look a little bit more interesting. So moving on to Bubbles, we did age up this character because we're not doing toddlers.
Is she a toddler?
I don't know. They're like in kindergarten or something. They're young. They're babies. They're coloring or something in class. I don't know. So I went for a blue silky like baby doll puff dress, which I know is like super duper obvious. I can admit that because her character is like super childish and innocent and kind of like playful. But I feel like the color scheme really fits her, and it has like this kind of like bubbly and airy connotation, which I do think fits her character. But because we're doing like her like blue and black dress, I gave her this kind of halter belt shoulder combo. So it would go like where the waist of the dress is, and then the sleeves would kind of puff out to create a little bit more shape in that area. And then just for like the rest of the styling, I did white stockings and black heels that have like little pearl details because I thought pearls kind of looked like bubbles, so it would be kind of cute if she had bubbles on her. And then the way that I was thinking of sort of like her look up top was kind of a Harajuku-esque styling, so like the two pigtails but with like a lot of clips and berets and all of that thing. Not berets, barrettes. So yeah, so I just gave her like a lot of like cute little clips and just little things like that because I think for the most part you have to keep the design a little bit simple is what I'm thinking if you're kind of mimicking that original look, because they don't wear anything else except for when they're like kind of grown up and like, you know, that iconic picture when they're at the mall and they're like all wearing like low rise and like that's the only time they wear other clothes pretty much. So
yeah, I also went with like something more simple, which I don't know, I feel like still like these outfits are pretty not simple, but I think like in in perspective to all the other characters, it is like pretty simple elements. But I went with like a coordinate set because I thought about doing like a black belt or something, but I just like, I couldn't find anything that I liked enough. So I just like tossed the belt, and I was like, you know what, instead I'm gonna have like a cropped top and a skirt, so that space, that like the sliver of stomach
is like the black
alludes
belt.
to the fact that there's a belt there. It looks like it's like a knit set, which I kind of got like a comfy vibe for Bubbles because she is like very childish and like she's very warm. So I wanted to play into that texture. I added these like butterfly hair clips because like I think they're kind of like childish jewelry. I don't know what to call it. Is like coming back in general, and I think it also suits her character as well. The designer for the necklace is Emma Pride, and it's like another one of those like chunky early 2000s-esque childhood nostalgia necklaces that I thought like added to that like soft kid core. Like I didn't want to go too hard on the kid core, but I did want to like have some elements because like she is a kid on the show. So I think that's just like our association with Bubbles. I gave her a fuzzy blue bag because I think she would just like a fuzzy bag. Like, you know, she likes her stuffed animals. I'm sure she would like a fuzzy bag like later in life. And then I gave her leg warmers and I guess T-bar shoes. I think these are called T-bar shoes.
I think they're T-bars platforms.
Yeah, I don't know if she can afford the Burberry. I don't know what the professor is making, but this was just an example. She could be wearing any Mary Janes. I just liked these, so
I feel like the professor is getting some military money or something. That man's making money somehow. Biological warfare, I don't know. Something's going on there.
I'm like just surprised. Like the kids, like the Powerpuff Girls are definitely getting paid, right? For like crime fighting. Like our tax money is going to the Powerpuff Girls, is it not?
I will say both of our outfits much, much cuter than the leaked photos of the Powerpuff reboot. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I'll insert some photos somewhere. But would you like to rant with me, Mina?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's rant a little bit. The costume design seems to be terrible. It looks weirdly cheap, and it's just so boring and so disappointing. Seriously, guys, if anyone who watches this video or Mina's video knows someone at CW, please tell them to call us immediately. There's still time to fix things.
Yeah. Okay, I think we need to discuss like the two photos that were leaked. So like the first one, which is like very much like a Halloween like budget costume, like literally like BuzzFeed Halloween costume DIY situation. I'm hoping that it's just like not what they're actually gonna wear in the show. Like I'm hoping it's like a spoof that they add in. I'm hoping. I'm literally praying.
It's like if it was a Halloween episode, or if it was like for a funny intro, like 2000s-esque like intro sequence, I would totally forgive the kind of cheap looking costumes. But if that's just what they're gonna be wearing throughout the show when they fight crime, I'm going to scream. Because it just looks like you and your girlfriends are like, oh crap, Halloween is tomorrow. We have nothing to wear. Okay, let's just throw whatever we have together and we'll be the Powerpuff Girls. And that's literally what it looks like. It's terrible. I'm so sorry.
I feel like a lot of people, like, they're probably like shaking their heads, like being like y'all like complained about how the Winx Club wasn't like matching the girls' costumes enough, and now you're complaining about how the Powerpuff Girls are too literal. But it's like, it's just so, costume design is such like an art form, you know? You have to take in so many things. Like in some situations, a more literal approach is better. In some situations, it's not. And being able to gauge that is like the role of the costume designer. And if they were going to go literally this literal, like, it looks like the material of the costumes like look really, really cheap. And I think if they at least like picked like a more luxurious, I don't know, but you know what I mean, like a more luxurious material.
I feel like they didn't really keep in mind any of the girls' like personalities in the actual outfits, aside from being like, okay, let's just color.
Oh yeah,
let's just
color
coordinate them, but forget about any like personality traits they may have or interests they may have. Everyone's just gonna dictate everything based off of their color.
This one's like even worse. Like almost like it's kind of worse.
It really is.
Because at least like the other one, it's like, okay, we see it. Like you just went straight with the source material. This one was like,
Poor Blossom. Is Blossom a 37-year-old woman? What's going on?
I really hate it.
High-rise skinny jeans, a red t-shirt, and a red blazer. Like, for why?
And I can read exactly. Like, they were like, Buttercup is, you know, the tough one, so we're giving her a leather jacket. Blossom is the smart one, so we're giving her a blazer. Bubbles is like the happy-go-lucky one, tank top. So, you know, it's just like so... It's not even cute. That's the worst.
Because it's like yes, we give these shows a hard time, but they're like, I don't mind like a campy coordinated color concept. Like the live action Scooby-Doo movies, they put the characters in like their original color palettes all the time. Daphne only wears purple the entire movie, but they still give her like interesting, relevant silhouettes and things that she would actually wear. They're not just like, here's a purple miniskirt and a green ascot scarf and just like, do your thing. Like they at least put some thought into the costuming instead of just being like, well, this is what they wore in the show, so we'll give them exactly what they wore in the show. And I guess this is a color they like, and we'll just put them in this color. That's it. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, and our redesigns of Bubbles, like, it's still, like, blue. It's very much blue. But it's just, like, taking in... I feel like I'm just, like, hyping myself up. Like, we're just so good
at this. Yeah, it's like we took into consideration more aspects of her character, like her bubbliness, her youth, anything like that, more about the fact that she might be more childish or something like that. If she was more childish in a live action version, she shouldn't be wearing the same type of dresses or skirts that her more mature sister Blossom or like her more edgy sister Buttercup is wearing, because that's not what you would do. And also realistically, if you're like a 20-something-year-old woman, odds are you're not dressing exactly like your sisters. Like that's not really...
Yeah, also, wait, on that, because wasn't like the concept of this show was like a darker... Powerpuff Girls who were like disillusioned by their like crime fighting past. So they feel
wouldn't
like
wear their colors.
If it would make even more, they wouldn't, and they honestly wouldn't try to look remotely similar, because like I feel like the original crime fighting uniform where they were like basically interchangeable, like they would try to move out and like pave their own pathway.
So next we're doing Angelica from the Rugrats, which iconic show. I believe that they're making like a reboot of it, or they're like redoing it in like a more like 3D computer animated style.
I didn't even know they were remaking it.
Oh, Mina.
I'm like, what?
Oh, Mina. But yeah, so we're basing it off of Angelica, who is kind of like the oldest of all the kids. I think she's probably like canonically 4 or 5. Like she's not in school yet, but she's
so
just
old.
She's just
literally an old lady. Senior discount, 5-year-old.
But she's just like, she's not a toddler. So her whole personality is bossing around them dumb babies.
Listen up, babies.
Babies are so stupid. They like didn't go to school yet.
They can't do anything. Dumb babies. But yeah, so her whole personality is just bossing around the other Rugrats, being a tattletale, and then also being spoiled rotten by her parents. So she's just generally not a pleasant person, which makes it more fun. For my take on Angelica, I did sort of a kind of like, I don't even know what to call it, but I've seen people dress like this like on TikTok or like on Pinterest, but I don't even know what the style of clothing is called. It's kind of like 2000s meets 90s meets like hippie. I don't even know what to call it, but like that's kind of like the look. So I went for some Lazy Oaf flower printed tights, which I thought really captured like the essence of the original tights she wears in her outfit, but not necessarily the same color palette, because I think her original tights are blue, but the rest of her outfit is like purple and orange, so it just adds some color that I was trying to like avoid. And with that, I gave her a purple kind of mesh dress that I would layer on top of this sort of purple, yellow, and orange tie-dye mesh top. One, just to cover her up so she's not showing too much skin, but also just to tie in all the rest of the colors of like the tights with like her top. And then I gave her these Unif bubble platform shoes. One, because I feel like Angelica as a person would want to be taller than everyone, so she could like I feel like she would be short.
Me.
Like, I feel like she would be short, but I think she would try to appear taller. So she would just wear the tallest shoes she could physically walk around in. Mina?
I could totally see Angelica being, oh wait, was that a dig to me or were you passing the mic? I was like, wait a second. I totally see that though. Like, I feel like Angelica is like the type to be like, oh, I'm gonna be like a supermodel, but she's like, you know, 5'1" or something. And she's like still like delusional about it. I can say that as a short person.
And then I also gave her like some like hippie-esque like jewelry. So a lot of like rings with like crystals and jewelry. I feel like she would be the kind of person who like touts herself as like I'm so zen and so peaceful, and yet is constantly yelling at everybody about everything. So it's like, you're not practicing what you're preaching. What's going on?
So for me, for Angelica, I actually did reference All Grown Up more than like Rugrats, because it was just so easy. I was like, this is the blueprint. This is like who she's gonna become, like who she's growing into. So I kept like that in mind with some of the pieces, but I still tried to keep like the color palette to be like her orange and purple Rugrats color palette. So I started with this like mesh, I think it's mesh,
top
honestly,
is
second
perfect.
skin top.
Perfect.
Yes, I literally saw it, like I stumbled across it, like I wasn't sure what to look for, and I was like, the colors are too good, and also the print, it just like looks like little chalk drawings that really like recall like childhood. I thought it was just perfect. I gave her like wide leg jeans because I feel like Angelica's definitely like the type to be TikTok, like
Anti-skinny jean.
Yeah,
Anti-skinny jean.
I feel like she would really like fall into these like Gen Z kind of schemes, because she's just that girl. Like I think she would just like
obnoxious.
be like a really obnoxious, like the type to like yell at 30-year-olds about their skinny jeans. I'm
Hi. Hi.
not saying Gen Z is obnoxious. I'm literally like, I think I'm Gen Z. And then I gave her this like kind of like this like cropped sweater vest, because the colors just matched too perfectly for this shirt. And I wasn't really liking just having her in the shirt and the pants, so I wanted something to layer on top. And then I gave her a Baker Boy hat. She wears a lot of Baker Boy hats in All Grown Up. So I was like, it's just, I wanted to pay an homage to that. I know they're like not super in right now, but I'm like, they're gonna come back. It's a hat. And then I
closes my eyes at my Baker Boy caps in my closet right now.
I love them. I love them. They had like their moment, I think, in 2017, and then they kind of like faded away a little bit. It wasn't a strong moment, which is why I think they're gonna come back stronger than ever before. I gave her clogs because she wears clogs in the show, and in my mind, they match the hat. And then for jewelry, I just like imagine her like fingers just like stacked with those, once again, like the 90s or 2000s
The
inspired, like
childish,
chunky, childish jewelry. Because Rugrats is about children, and I think I just like wanted to reference that part of the show.
Yeah. Honestly, I really love both of our outfits. I feel like they're very different takes. I mean, I still think both of our takes on Angelica, she's still obnoxious in both. Like, I can visualize this human, and I can already tell, like, I'd be like, I don't want to be around her energy. So I can like,
that's
sense
like
that.
literally the only thing you need for Angelica. It's just like her being obnoxious. I feel like, yours is like the not practice what I preach, like, honestly, like, low-key PETA supporting. Like,
basically
fake spiritual. And I feel like mine is like trust fund baby moved to Brooklyn, like okay, if anyone who lives in Brooklyn, specifically Bushwick, but I think that's just like the energy that she's giving. She's giving gentrifier. My Angelica is giving gentrifier. That's just it. Period.
She goes to the thrift store, buys all the cute clothes, and resells them.
Sells it on Depop, resells it on Depop 50 times the price.
Both of our Angelicas are Depop resellers who sell for exorbitant amounts of money. So the final character that we're going to be doing today is Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. Yes, I know she's a squirrel. We don't care. She's fun and she's cute, and I just thought it would be really fun to see an animal recreation
Because Tessa's a furry, secretly.
So for Sandy, I started off with a pair of lace-up denim flares because I kind of wanted to go for a Southern Texas American kind of look for her, because a lot of the characters do make fun of not just the fact that Sandy is a squirrel, like living underwater, but also that she's like a Texas squirrel. So I kind of wanted to do like a parody of a Texas outfit, kind of like if you were watching like an old-timey skit on like the Amanda show or something, because my version of Sandy wouldn't be a squirrel. She'd maybe have like squirrel ears and that would be about it. But yeah, so I gave her also white cowboy boots just as a sort of callback to her astronaut outfit. And then I gave her an orange halter top because I thought it paired well with the rest of the outfit and also was kind of a callback to like the little flower that she wears in her hair. And then I gave her a orange cowboy hat as well as like a cute little like floral beaded necklace. I just really was going for like a happy Texas girl who's just could also kick your ass. Like that's basically the whole premise.
And I think you succeeded. For my interpretation of Sandy, I went super literal. Like she is in a full space suit at this point. I chose like the undercover space jacket from their fall 2018 menswear collection. It's literally just like, it's literally a space jacket just without the, you know, the capabilities. Yeah, Undercover did a whole like collection and it was based off of the Kubrick movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So I was trying so hard not to put her like in just this outfit because like then it'd be like, okay, closed book. You know, I wanted to do a little bit more styling. So I just took the top half of that. I decided to pair it with like metallic pants to like, you know, contribute more to the space vibe. And then for the shoes, I put these, so they're called the Nike Mag shoes, and they were originally released in 2011, but then there was a re-release in 2016, and they are designed to be an exact replica from the movie Back to the Future 2. In the movie, the shoes are self-lacing, and Nike collaborated with the movie to design these shoes, but at the time like there was no self-lacing technology, so they were actually props that they had to plug in so that like the effect could work.
The lace would go in.
But in 2016 they released a model that actually had auto lacing, which is super cool. But I think Sandy would get a total kick out of these because, you know, she's a scientist. I think she would appreciate like the high-tech-ness of the shoe, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I really played into her science-y side.
Yeah, we did really, really different like takes on Sandy. Honestly, you know what? I feel like she rips off the spacesuit and then that's what she has on underneath.
That's it. That's literally
there
the
you go.
moment.
Solution.
No,
she's
I
like,
think
I'm home.
Yeah, literally. Like the space shoes, what she wears out to like see everyone else, and then her inside her tree dome, she's wearing her Texas fit.
See, it can be a competition, but it can also be collaborative.
But still, let us know who won.
Yeah, let us know who won. You know, it could have been me. It could have been Mina, but it was probably me.
It was probably Mina.
But it's fine. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Mina's channel in general and also her video that we did over there. Let us know, you know, if you ever want us to do something like this again. I hope this video wasn't too chaotic. Filming in this way, not as easy as you would think. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.